Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar where we're going to be talking about application tips for our Master of Advanced Management at the Yale School of Management. I'd like to introduce the team that is with us today. So I'm going to be presenting with Kate Navarro, our Associate Director of Admissions. And also on the back end, helping us run this webinar smoothly is Rachel Kinney. She's our Senior Admissions Operations and Events Specialist. And my name is Camino de Paz, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Global Network Programs at the Yale School of Management. So we're going to be dividing the session or the webinar into parts. I'm going first to be introducing a little bit about the program, a little bit about the school, and our mission statement, which is extremely important to us. And then the most important part for this webinar, which is the topic that we're going to be discussing, which is the application tips. My colleague Kate Navarro will be introducing that to you. If you have questions, I would encourage you to please ask them in the Q&A function that you can find on the lower end of your screen. So without further ado, let me move through my slides. So the Master of Advanced Management is a one-year program that is targeted to MBA graduates from Global Network member schools. Global Network for Advanced Management is a network of 32 schools around the world. And if you are attending this webinar today, that means that you are currently a student or a recent alumni from one of these Global Network member schools. So I'd like to introduce to you the profile of the class, and then I'm also going to be talking to you a little bit about what this program is aimed for. So how you consider to join this program if this is something that you're considering right now. So the class of 2021, the current class, we have 65 MBA graduates coming from 25 countries of citizenship. 94% of our students hold international passports. There are 20 Global Network schools represented. As I said before, the total number of schools in the network is 32. We would love to have students from all the other 31 schools, but this class we have 20 schools represented. The average age is 32. Again, this is a post-MBA degree. So if the average age of MBAs is usually around 28, it makes sense that for this degree it's a little bit higher. And 39% are women, which is a very nice percentage because as the degrees advanced, usually women tend to be fewer. We would love for this to be 50%, and we work towards that. But in the current class, we have 39% women. 100% of our students speak 2 or more languages, and 66% speak 3 or more languages. So a little bit more of information about the program itself. So our students come from 70 countries on 6 continents. I'm talking about the history of the program. The program was launched in 2012, so our first class graduated in 2013. And this is a little bit of a summary of where our students came from over this past 8 years. So as you can see, many countries in all different continents. So global talent around the world, which is what we want to attract to ELSOM. We want to be the most global US school, and this program truly represents that goal of ours. So our mission statement at Yale School of Management is to educate leaders for business and society. This mission statement is not just something that we put on a slide, it's something that we all breathe and work for. And when I say we, I mean everybody at the school. So the staff, the faculty, the students, the alumni, we all believe that our goal is to educate leaders to be very successful in business. And this would probably be what most business schools in the world do. But we don't stop there. We want those business leaders to also make an impact in society. And this is something that I strongly encourage you to look into, because we're going to be in the admission process. We're going to be carefully looking for you being a right fit for us, and this mission statement has a lot to do with this fit. Like if you just want to be very successful in business and that's all you care about, you don't have any goal to improve the world we live in, to make a difference, to make an impact, then probably this is not the school for you, because this is going to be in every course, this is going to be in every extracurricular, in every conference. We are going to have a strong focus on the society piece of our mission statement. So why should you consider doing an MAM? The first thing that I want to say is that you don't need this program. You're already doing an MBA in a very successful and prestigious institution. So you could just very well, finish your MBA and go back to the workforce. So this program is not for everybody. It's for those people that want one of two things. On the one hand side, they want extraordinary depth in an area of expertise. You're currently doing a general management program where you're probably studying different functional areas. So you move from marketing to strategy to finance to accounting, but you don't have the time to actually dig deeper in an area where you are actually very interested in. So you could come to us for another year of study, and let's say it's finance where you're interested in, you could go and focus strongly in that area with us, with our extraordinary faculty, and even going outside of the SOM and taking classes with professors outside of our professional school, from other professional schools in the university, or even Yale College. The other option is to have extraordinary breadth. So let's say that you've done your MBA, you have had the opportunity to take some electives, but you would like to explore other areas beyond business, and this is where a lot of the society piece comes in, or things that you might be just personally interested in. Maybe you were always interested in, doing a drama class or a language class. Here you will have that opportunity. So where you're doing your research about the program, which I very much encourage you to do now. Don't wait until you're admitted to the program to decide what classes you want to take. This is something that thought process should happen even before you apply. You have to have a really good idea why you're doing this program for. I encourage you to explore, the purpose of this program for yourself, how you plan to leverage it, and once you have that decision made, then look into the classes that you would like to take once you come with us for a whole year. So this would allow you to have two networks and two brands. Again, the brand and the network of your current institution, your current global network school, and then the network and brand of Yale SOM. A global career, because this is mostly the goal of our students. They tend to end up either in their home country or a third country. They have a truly global career. Some of them take advantage of the optional practical training that is a 1 year where you can extend your visa and work in the US. But after that year, 3 years, if you go on the STEM track, they usually take the next position somewhere else in the world. And then a community of purpose. Again, our mission statement is very, very strong. And that community of purpose is there in our alumni. So you will be surprised how tight our community is while you are at SOM, but also with our alumni. So they will be there to support you all through your career. And no matter where you are, at what point of your career or where you're in the world, you will always find a Yale graduate to support you. And also they will expect the same from you. So the MAM curriculum, I basically told you already that you will have a lot to say in how you shape your curriculum. So we only have 2 core courses, and the rest is decided by you. So the core courses are Global Leadership Big Issues, and this course is a series of talks and conferences where we bring leading thinkers from around the university, and also to talk about present global risks, trends, business implications. So things that are currently happening in the world that might affect the context in which business operate, to give you different perspectives and as you shape your future career, that you have in mind not only the business that you would be, or the industry that you would be getting into, but also to assess the context in which that business or that industry operates. And then the other core course is Global Leadership, Personal and Interpersonal Effectiveness. And this course is actually more to develop your personal leadership skills, the way you communicate, the way you're effective in, as a leader in a team, and as a co-worker in a team as well, not just when you're a leader, but also when there's no hierarchy there. So these are the only two courses that we're going to be requiring you to take. All the rest are electives. So you can either take advantage of more than 150 courses that we have at Yale School of Management. All of them are clearly business and management electives, or you can go outside of SOM and take classes at any of the other professional schools or even at Yale College. And again, take advantage of that breadth of opportunities that I was mentioning before, and take classes that you might be interested in at a professional or even at a personal level to further develop you as a future professional. So this is a brief introduction about the program. And I encourage you to ask questions via the Q&A function. We will be answering questions at the end of this webinar. And now I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Kate Navarro, who will be getting into the Excel, give you tips about how to prepare a successful application for us. And again, I'll be happy to come back at the end for your questions.
Great, thank you so much, Camino. So hopefully at this point, you know, you're excited and ready to apply to the MAM program. We'd love to have your application this year. The majority of this webinar, again, is to go through the application process and to really break down the application and talk about how you can present your best self. So real fast on the side of this slide, you'll see a list of the application components that are going to be submitted online, and I'll talk through those in a little bit. But, you know, just as a general overview, a great candidate to us stands out for many different reasons. We're looking for academic excellence in your prior institutions. As Camino had mentioned, we're also looking for you to potentially understand and have an affinity for the Yale School of Management's mission to educate leaders for business and society. We're looking for international experience. We're looking for leadership potential, intellectual curiosity, as well as some professional experience and robust career goals. And you'll get a chance to talk about those in our essays as well. Overall, we really just want to get an understanding of how the Yale MAM program is going to impact you and how it's going to complement your management education to date in your MBA program. We do have 3 application deadlines. Those are coming up quickly. Our first deadline is going to be January 7th, which I know is only a couple of weeks away. So if you're just finding out about the program and don't want to turn over an application for our first round, it's okay. We have 2 more rounds, the second being in February and then the third being in April. And we've also posted our tuition figure on the screen. You can also find more about the cost information of the MAM program on our website. We do understand that pursuing your MAM degree at Yale is a major investment with a large, ticket price. We're committed to working with each admitted student to make a financial package that works best for you. So this may be a combination of an international loan. We do work with an international loan provider, as well as scholarships. So our program does offer admitted student scholarships as soon as you're admitted, and this is on a merit base. There's no additional application. We're going to use the application that you submit at one of these deadlines as a merit base for your scholarships. So now that you see a general overview of what the application looks like, let's dig a little bit deeper, talk about some of those tips, and really get you familiar with the MAM application. So first and foremost, we have essays. Essays are very important for many different reasons, but we have 2 essays. I would say the second one is broken down into 3, so it may feel like a little bit longer, but our first essay is describe a time when you've had a significant impact on a person, group, or organization. What did you learn from this experience? This essay is really an opportunity for you to present something that is personally meaningful to you. We really want to get a sense of how you've impacted others in your life and how that's affected you. This can be a specific impact, or it can be something more broadly, that's happened over time. And it's really important that you describe this situation as well as how you made the impact. My suggestion or my tip in this essay is to remember to be authentic, use your own voice. This is a chance for us to get to know you a little bit better. And so use this opportunity to do so. And then our second set of essays, again, is broken down into three, but is all encompassing about careers. So our second set of essays allows you to talk more about your goals, both in the short term and in the long term. And then thirdly, we'd like to know how this is going to connect to the MAM. So how, the MAM is going to impact these potential career goals and help you obtain these. Again, some tips in the essay portion of the application is that we're going to be evaluating your communication skills as well as your writing skills. We want to know how you formulate an argument or point. So it's really important to proofread. Spell check doesn't catch everything, and we've seen that many a times. So proofread it over and over again. Another tip is maybe to have a friend or a family member read through your essay that you've completed, and without knowing the question or without telling them the question, see if they can guess what it is. This is a good way to make sure that you've actually articulated the point, you've answered the question correctly, and not just kind of gone off on a tangent of just, an essay together. Second portion of the application is transcripts. We are looking as a team at transcripts to help gauge the potential for your academic success in our rigorous MAM program. As you can imagine, our classes at Yale are quite rigorous, as I mentioned. And so we want to make sure that you can not only survive in our classroom, but thrive as well. And so this is the component we're looking at to make sure that's going to happen. We try and look beyond overall GPA. So don't be too focused on, that number necessarily. We want to also look at your quant performance and the grades you've received in these courses to see, if you've been successful. We are asking for transcripts from each degree granting institution. If you are currently in your MBA program, we're asking you to please include your transcripts from your first term grades. We know that with what's been going on with COVID, you may have started your program a little late, and that's okay. You might not have grades at the time that you're applying. That's not a problem. We can take a look at the list of courses that you're currently enrolled in and then receive your grades before we can offer an admission decision. We're also looking for your transcripts. As I mentioned, these can be unofficial transcripts. That's fine for the application portion of this. An unofficial transcript is just a copy of your transcript. Preferably, we'd like it printed by the school. I know that can be hard right now, so we'll work with you on whatever you can, give us at this point. All transcripts must have your name. It has to have the school's name. And then again, we're looking for evidence of successful, courses and potentially successful graduation from that school, as we do, have our MAM alums apply. Again, we're looking at the classes that you're taking as well as grades. And then one last thing to note is that we will ask for your transcripts to, if they're not in English, to be translated into English. Although we have a very international team, being from, Spain, we still want these transcripts in English so that we can read them together as a team. Okay, moving right along, we do require test scores. Test scores are a great opportunity for us to, as a committee, to be able to gauge your success as well in your curriculum. And, understanding your skill sets and abilities along with your transcripts. We will accept the exam that was used in order for you to obtain access to your MBA program. So this may not be limited, obviously, to the GMAT and GRE. We will accept scores such as the Chinese entrance exam score, the IE GAT is specific to IE, the pay-up score, which I know is used in Latin America. So whatever test score was used to obtain admission to your MBA program, we will accept that as well, and our team knows how to evaluate those scores. Now, say you're going to a global network school that does not require an entrance exam score in order to get into the MBA program. That's no problem at all. We will waive that portion of the MAM application for you. Again, we don't want you to go out and to retake a test or take a test that you've never taken before in order to gain admission. We're trying to work with each global network school And again, we'll accept whatever was needed for your MBA program. If you are sending the Yale SOM program your test scores through the GMAT or GRE website, just please be sure, excuse me, to use your test score, to use the test IDs that are in the instructions of the application. We have them right there on the very front page, and they should also be on the test scores tab as you're going through the application itself. Okay, so moving right along, we'd like to talk about obviously a resume and CV. This is really important for our team to take a look at and to get a better understanding of what you've been doing professionally, as well as some personal achievements you've had. So I feel like this portion of the application can be overlooked by applicants as an easy kind of portion of the application, and it is in terms of uploading. That's all you need to do. You don't need to further explain yourself. However, we've seen many a times lots of mistakes in resumes, lots of spell check errors or formatting issues. So that's why I say it can be easy to overlook. Make sure that you're going back and you're putting a second eye on it. Have your friend or family member take a look and make sure everything seems concise and is easy to read. Some tips I'd like to talk about in this portion is have a 1 to 2 page resume. It's the most efficient and effective for our team to look over. If a resume is 4, 5, 6 pages, it gets quite daunting for us to understand, what you did, when, and, the responsibilities you had. We do have a template, a Yale SOM template that you can download and put your resume into so that it's more formatted with, again, our Yale SOM template. And when you come to Yale, the Career Development Office is going to have you put your resume in this template anyways. So if you want to get a head start, it's always great to download that and plug all your information into it. It's not a requirement by any means, but it's just, again, a helpful tip. Make sure everything is in chronological order. We want to make sure, from your most recent experience to the farthest away is going from the top down. Make sure your margins are well sized and it's easy to read. I would say focus on your achievements, your added value, not just a list of responsibilities, but things you achieved while you were at your previous jobs or internships. Please include all work. Feel free to include descriptions wherever that's necessary. Sometimes, applicants work for a very small business or a foreign company. You can, put this in your resume too in parentheses if you want to further explain. And then lastly, on the resume portion, include activities that are important to you, things that you've done, maybe clubs you've joined in your MBA program, volunteer work. We want to see, things that you're choosing to do because they're meaningful to you. And it's, again, a good way for us to really look at you as a holistic applicant and understand better, who you are and what you've been doing. With any application, there are letters of recommendation. And with the MAM application, we require 2 letters of recommendation. The first letter of recommendation is coming from, hopefully, ideally, a professional source. And so we'd like this to hopefully be from a direct supervisor or someone, at a previous company who can really talk to the strengths and professional potential that you have, as well as the successes that you've had there. And so while titles aren't the most important thing, it doesn't have to be the CEO of the company. We want someone that knows you well, someone that you can choose that's really going to tell good stories about who you are. And a tip in this portion is just to approach your recommender early. Make sure you do it well in advance because, it can take them some time to submit a full, letter in our system. And you also want to make sure you have time to speak with them. Maybe take them out to lunch or coffee. I know that's kind of hard right now. So maybe you can set up a Zoom call even to talk a little bit more about why the MAM is important to you, your desire to come to Yale, and maybe give them some stories, things that they might have forgotten about things that you've done while you're in that that you were in that company. Again, a way that they can convey your candidacy better to us. And then give them, as I mentioned, plenty of time to craft those letters. Remember that people are busy and they have many priorities. And so if you're finding a recommender that just doesn't have the time, move on to another recommender, have kind of a basket full of potential recommenders that you can choose from in case one says no. And if it happens, sometimes we've had recommenders say, you draft the letter and then, we'll look it over and sign it. we definitely do not recommend this. Move on from that recommender. Find a recommender who can put in the time for this letter and can really speak to you again and talk a little bit more about their enthusiasm for you as an applicant. Now, the second letter of recommendation, as I mentioned, there are two, is actually coming from the dean or director of your MBA program. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the actual dean, and it may not be an MBA director. Every program is different. It may be the person who oversees your study abroad or exchange programs, or someone in your international relations office. My advice here is talk to your MBA office. We are in touch, Camino, myself, our colleague Kelsey, as well as Rachel, are all in touch with these global number schools and have relationships with your MBA program office. So someone in that office knows about the MAM program and knows about this letter and can help guide you as to how you should submit it, whether that's through our system and who the best person is to put in as a name for that recommendation, or sometimes those letters come directly from the school to us. And so again, my advice, make sure you talk to them, figure out who this person is, and then work through that process with your global network school. As always, reach out to our team if you have any questions. Just a few more things in our application that we're going to talk about. One of them is my favorite part of the application to review is the video questions. I realize this isn't necessarily the most favorite part of all of our applicants. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking, but there's no need to be nervous or scared about this portion. There is no preparation required. So after you submit your application and pay the $100 application fee, you're going to then be prompted on your applicant status page to complete these video questions. So it's kind of although it's combined with the application, it's a little bit separate. You pay and then do this portion. And what this portion is you'll get 3 video questions. You're going to complete them in one sitting. Someone will pop up on the screen, whether that's myself or one of my colleagues, and ask you a question. You'll then get some time, I want to say about a minute or so to think about your response, and then you'll get about a minute to record your response to that question. Again, no need to be nervous. This is a really fun way for our admissions committee to see you, to get to know you a little bit better, your personality, coming through the video questions instead of just through your paper portion or online portion of your application. And so we also use this as an evaluation of your communication skills. During the test score portion, I didn't mention that we don't have an English test requirement. And the reason that is because we have these video questions. We can really get a sense of, your again, communication skills and how you are speaking and how you'll thrive in the classroom. So don't be nervous about this part, just have fun and let your personality shine through. And then lastly, we do have an optional information portion of the application. This optional information section is at the end of the essay portion. And as a tip, it's not another essay for you to just, use. My suggestion is you should only use this optional portion if it's absolutely necessary. You can use it to address any anomalies that you've had or unanswered questions that you think the committee members might not have gotten from the rest of your application. An example of this may include a or resume or a chance to talk a little bit more about how you maybe didn't perform as well as you'd like to academically, some low grades. So again, this portion is short, but it's just another way for you to talk about things that we may not just be able to grab from the rest of your application. So those are just some, short, helpful tips as we walk through each component of the application itself. And I think at this point, we'd love to, take some questions from you that you've submitted in the Q&A function and, hopefully get through those before Camino and I give our final advice. So I'm just going to pull up the Q&A section and see what we've got so far. Looks like we have some really good questions. Right now we have one from Shreyas. Along with SOM electives, would language courses at other colleges within Yale count towards elective credits needed to graduate? Camino, can I pop that over to you?
Absolutely. And before I answer, I want to apologize because I had issues with my internet connection. So I think you might have lost visibility to the slides. I apologize for that. I was kicked out of the webinar, but happily I'm back. So the answer to the question is yes. You will be able to take classes on languages at other parts of the university and academic credit as an elective for those classes. So yes.
Great. How possible is it to have face-to-face courses in 2021? I think this is a, binding question that everyone's really curious about. So Camino, do you want to comment?
Yeah, we wish we had a crystal ball, but we don't. So my best answer is we've been able to have a hybrid model over the fall, and we plan to have a hybrid model in the spring as well of 2021. So that would be the worst case scenario for the class of 2022, that we still will have to be hybrid in a way and have some students connect remotely while other students will be in the classroom. It will all depend on how fast we get the vaccine for the virus and then the herd immunity as well. So I really, truly hope that we can go back to normal activities by the time your class arrives on campus, but we don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know. So hopefully you'll be full in person, and if it cannot be full in person, it will be hybrid.
Great, thanks, Camino. Obviously with COVID-19, it's unpredictable, and I hope to take the program face-to-face format. I will graduate from my host school in 2021. I wonder whether it can apply as alumni in the following years. I'd be happy to answer this, and the answer is yes. You can definitely apply as an alum of your MBA program. We have many alum come to the MAM program. My only suggestion is not to wait too long. We don't want too much space between when you complete your MBA and come and do the MAM. And so while 1 to 2 years, 3 years is fine. Again, we don't want to put a cap on it necessarily, but we want to make sure that your profile makes sense for when you come to the program. So long-winded, yes, you can apply as an alumni. Okay, is it okay to submit the application in round 2, but the MBA transcript won't be ready until June? So yes, you can submit your application in round 2. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we'll work with you on when your grades can come out. We typically don't offer admission decisions until we can take a look at how you've been doing in your MBA. And so depending on the school, we will, again, see if we can get the transcript from the school early, work with you on any grades that are coming through. We try and make this an individualized process. And so we'll work with you individually to make sure that we can evaluate your transcript. If by chance we don't have any grades before we can make a decision, we'll make that happen. We're not going to, hinder you because of this shift of with everything going on with the pandemic and grades coming out later than they typically do. So totally fine to apply in round 2 if your grades aren't available yet. What's the admissions rate for the MAM program and how competitive is it? So while we aren't able to provide you with the admissions rate for the MAM program, the competitiveness is like any other program. I will say that we are not looking for a cap on how many students we take from each global network school. So Camino had mentioned, there are 32 schools to come from, really 31, not including Yale, but we're not taking a certain amount of students from each school. We will take as many great students as possible. If a lot of them come from one school, so be it. Again, we're just looking for amazing MBA candidates. It doesn't matter necessarily, how many from each school. And so think about that kind of as you're thinking about the program and the competitiveness itself. But again, this is a very unique program. And so our students who are coming to us to apply is a little bit smaller than, maybe our MBA program. It's very, unique, as I had mentioned. Next question, are there any extra requirements or extended length of the program for the STEM degree? This is a good question. So you can find more about the STEM process that is pretty brand new to the MAM program on our website, and all the information is there. There is no extended length of the program. There are extra requirements though. And so while Camino had mentioned you can take electives from all across Yale, there are required electives you have to take in order to be able to qualify for the STEM degree. So hop on our website. If you have any issues finding it, just email our admissions office and we can send you the direct link, but it should be under the curriculum portion. You can take a look look at what those elective courses are. You'll still have some flexibility outside of those, but it does kind of, pinpoint the electives you'll have to take if you want to get the STEM degree. Okay, next question. Video question, it's about video questions. Must they be submitted before the deadline? Camino, do you want to answer this one?
Sure. So the video questions are part of the application process. So yes, they have to be submitted before the deadline, because if not, your application won't be complete. And we don't review applications until we have all the materials at our disposal, including the video questions, of course.
Great, thank you. So just make sure you time that correctly. Obviously the application deadline is, we say 5 p.m. on, January 7th is our first one. If you're having a lag in the system to complete your video questions and it's 6 o'clock, it's okay, don't panic. Just submit those video questions as quickly as possible, as Camino said, so that we can review your application completely. Okay. In case the classes are happening online, is it possible to defer the program? While we do grant one-year deferrals on a requested basis, it may or may not be granted. It just depends. I don't want to, put the cart before the horse, as we don't know what's going to happen next year. And so while we're very hopeful that classes will be in person, we'll deal with this as it comes. And so, hopefully we can all be flexible in making decisions and, working through the best possible experience that you can have at Yale. And so I don't want to answer that completely right now, just because we're extremely positive and hopeful everything will work out for next year and no one will need to defer their enrollment because you'll be able to be on campus. So we'll just take that, as it comes. Let's see, Camino, I'll pass this one over to you. If my GPA is not listed on my transcript, but I have signed a letter with my average, should I mention my GPA?
The more information we have about you, the better. And don't forget that we're looking for the best and the brightest. So your GPA, it's really important to us. So yes, provide us with as much information as you can. Ideally, if it can be official, if you can get something from your MBA school or from your undergrad institution, please do, because we want the best and the brightest, and clearly GPA is super important to us. Yes.
Great. Thanks for this session. I have a question that is it okay to submit the test score, which was valid for my MBA program when I applied, but it's expired now? Yes, we will accept expired test scores if they were used to gain admission to your MBA. So there's no need to go out and, retake the GMAT because it may have expired by now. We'll accept that. If we see any discrepancies as you submit it, we'll reach out to you and we'll have a conversation about it. But yes, we will accept expired test scores at this time. Okay, let's see. I am currently still in my MBA program. Do I have to finish all the core courses before attending the MAM? This is in regards to the concurrent degree program for the MAM. The answer is yes, you do need to complete those core courses. That is required in order to do the concurrent degree with the MAM. You complete the core MBA at your school, and then you can come to Yale with a concurrent degree to use electives here to go back towards your electives at the MBA. We didn't touch on this too much during this webinar, and we do have a webinar website recorded options with some of our global network schools, not all. So check in with your MBA office if you're interested to know if there's a concurrent degree with the Yale MAM. But to this question, you do need to complete your core courses before you come to the MAM. I noticed the average age of enrollment is over 30. Does the program have any preference on the length of work experience? Camino, would you like to answer that question?
We would like to see at least around 4 to 5 years of work experience. This is not set on a stone, but is the average work experience for an MBA degree. It varies around the world. We do know that things work differently in every country. And countries like India, they usually are much younger. They finish earlier undergrad. They don't have as much experience because that's the way it works there. While other places like the US, and even some places in Asia, they come with a much broader experience. So I don't want to kind of give a number that applies to all the applicants, But if I would have to say something, we like to see experience in your resume. This is not a pre-experience program. It's not, you know, a master's in management or our other pre-experience program, which is a master in global business and society. This is a program where we expect the candidates to have experience. But again, whether that is 3, 5, 6, 10 years, that will very much depend on the region from the world you are coming from and what the experience and the culture in those countries is.
Great. So we already answered part of this question. The first question was about the deadline for the video questions, which Camino had addressed. But the second portion of their question is the interview a blind interview? So our interview process is pretty simple in terms of we go to committee, we have, our committee reads all the applications. And then if you are granted an interview, you will find out from our admissions office whether you've been granted. Then you'll sign up for a slot, and it just depends on what slot you sign up for, whether you're interviewing with whoever on our team. So that may be myself, that may be Camino, that may be other members of our team. But we have read your application before the interview. And so those interviews are really just a way for us to get to know you better and to have a casual conversation with you, to dig a little bit deeper into who you are and your hopes for the MAM program, and for you to, be able to explain to us why it makes sense, for you to come to Yale. So the interview process is, it's about a 30-minute interview. It's via Zoom. We've always done that, but this year it's, it's common for everyone to be on Zoom all the time. So and not everyone, unfortunately, is able to have an interview. We do have a small team with lots of applications. So hopefully, if you are granted one, we'll be able to see you in person. May I know the key criteria and quality the admissions committee look for in a candidate of the Yale MAM program? So I did touch on these a little bit during our presentation, talking a little bit about academic excellence, international experience. Camino had touched on the mission, a connection to our mission at the School of Management. It's always great to hear, how you want to take that on in your further career. We also look for intellectual curiosity. So, we are very academic at Yale, and we want to hear how you're going to explore here. And again, that you had some professional experience. So there are lots of criteria we're looking for in an MAM applicant, but those are just a few to mention. And so I would say as well, make sure that you are displaying yourself in the best way during the application process. So thank you, Rachel, for reminding me we only have a couple more minutes left. I say we'll take one more question, and then Camino and I will each give our final bit of advice before we sign off. Let's see. So this says, it looks like someone is applying to the concurrent degree, and in the application it says, please outline how you plan to complete all academic requirements of your MBA degree and MAM degree. They're asking for further explanation. I think that's a very valid question. What we're looking for in that is just a simple comment that says, I'm going to complete my MBA core and come to Yale and complete my electives. You can outline some of the electives you're interested in, whether that speaks to breadth or depth, as Camino had talked about earlier, but really it's just a quick blurb to just say you're completing your electives at SOM to go back towards your MBA. So I'm sorry we didn't get to all the questions in the Q&A. My suggestion would be reach out to our admissions office with these questions via email. We'll answer them as quickly as possible because I want to make sure everyone gets their answers, to these questions. And we appreciate you joining us. So at this time, Camino, I'd love to know what is maybe one piece of final advice that you'd like to give our applicants.
Thank you, Kate. Before I give my piece of advice, I want to add something to the question posed before very quickly, which is the competitiveness of the program. We want the best and brightest students that we can find around the world. Luckily, we don't have a target number for this program. So just put together your best application and be as competitive as possible, and do not worry about who else will be applying to the program. Because if you are good enough, if we really, really want you in the program, there will always be a seat for you in this program. Now my piece of advice, when you put together your application, make sure you are honest and you tell us your story. Don't tell us what you think we want to hear. Just tell us who you are and convey the message of why you want to do this program. The worst answer that you can give me is, why do you want to do this program? Because of Yale reputation, because I want to be at Yale because it's a very reputable school. That is not the answer I'm looking for. That's not an answer, actually. Dig deeper in the program. You know that you're going to be shaping your curriculum. Convey the message of why you want to do this program and how you're going to be leveraging it for the future. That is my piece of advice, Kate.
Great, thanks, Camino. And my final piece of advice is to plan ahead. The deadlines can sneak up on you, and while we're, accommodating, and I would say we're a nice team, we want to make sure that we can be able to review your application completely. So, this goes with your letters of recommendation. I said this earlier, reach out to them ahead of time, start an application ahead of time so you can, slowly pick away at it. If you just found out about the program and you're not ready to turn around an application for round 1 January, wait till February, submit when you are able to show the best version of yourself through the application. And with that, I just want to thank everyone so much for being with us. We really appreciate your time. I know everyone's all over the world, so we're in different time zones. It's late, it's early, it depends where you are. But this recording is going to go on our website too, so you can take a look back and listen to anything we said. And again, we encourage you to reach out to our admissions office. That's just advanced.management@yale.edu. We'll get back to you on any questions you have, and we hopefully look forward to reading your application this year.